There are only two times when we get to see James Bond sitting actually at a table when he was working. One is actually in Casino Royale, where he's sitting at the Ocean Club and he is actually on a computer. And the second one was in Dr. No, when he actually came into his apartment. As far as I'm concerned, those are the only two times that you actually got to see James Bond in, like at work or at least at his home. Hi, welcome to my episode. I am actually going to be talking about one of my favorite characters, James Bond. As long as I can remember, this is one of the characters that I always was so impressed by, just because, you know, he was like a super spy and everything was so cool about it. Now, the first movie that I actually saw was Moonraker. Roger Moore. I remember that. I remember not being able to sleep at night because of Jaws, the character Jaws in the movie. I don't know if you remember, as a small kid, that was actually very, very frightening to me to see Jaws in that movie. Only later on, much later on, did I actually get to see Dr. No, and that was the first movie of James Bond, and that's when I actually saw James Bond the very first time properly introducing himself.
Carte. 9 à la banque.
I need another 1,000.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Now, in this particular episode, I just want to talk about a few things that I actually love about James Bond. I don't mean that the action part. I mean, of course, the cinema part is really kind of cool, right? The fast cars, the guns, the casino, and stuff like that. But there are some things about James Bond as a character that if you really dig deeply into it, you could see it's such a great influence of getting us to actually be a better person. That means trying to work better. And in this episode, I just want to focus a little bit about a working space. To me, my table at home is actually the place where I sit down and I do all my planning. I do all my scheduling. I plan. I spend a lot of time in my home office, trying to get myself together for the coming week. Maybe there's some projects I want to do. Maybe there are certain things that I want to study. I want to learn about stuff. So for me, my table is kind of really, really important. Right now, I'm learning about video editing, how to make movies, how to put things together. So my table at home is set up for that purpose solely. Anyway, so having a nice workspace, I think, is very crucial, especially when you are trying to find a space in your life so that you can actually sit down and do some work. When you're designing a space at home, ask yourself a few questions. What is this space going to be for? And keep it that way. Now, if you actually take a look at my home space, I actually have multiple tables. I have a table facing the window, and I have another table that looks like an island that is sitting a little bit further away. So when I'm sitting at the table at my window, it is where I do all my editing work. And so that table is totally dedicated for my computers and for me to sit down and do all my editing work, because that's my workstation. If I'm doing anything else, any writing work, I tend to go to my island, because I will sit over there, and that way there are no computers on that table, so I am totally sitting down, focused on writing stuff. I actually like writing. I'm not always putting digital notes. I love using the pen to paper, because to me, I think that's kind of cool when you're writing. There is something that happens when you take a fountain pen, an ink pen, and put it on paper. I think the writing process actually really helps keep the creative engines running, so to speak. So of course, that is totally my style. Now, the James Bond thing comes into it is because I was actually writing this book, and I wanted to, take certain things from the James Bond movies and put it into a creative book, so that way when you read a book, you would be like, oh wow, that's how he does things, and that's why he's organized, that's why he's a very good super spy, and that's why he's working very hard, enjoying life. Of course, he lives very dangerously because that is his job, and at any moment, there's danger around him all the time, so he always carries a gun and stuff like that.
Give me your gun. Yes, I thought so. This damn Beretta again. I've told you about this before.
But for us in our world, we are not exactly carrying guns. For us, our guns is the pen. That's our gun. So I believe that having a really nice fountain pen would be as similar to you carrying a Walther PPK. And that's how I feel it. I know some people might look at this video and say, wait a minute, what is he talking about? And that's okay. I think you should find inspiration anywhere that you can that makes you sit down to do some constructive work. Because most of us get very distracted very easily. For me, when I'm actually at work, I try to make sure that I am not watching movies. I will watch YouTube shorts or short videos in YouTube because I'm trying to learn something maybe. But I would never actually do anything where I am keeping myself in some kind of distraction. So thank you very much. Welcome to my James Bond episode. And of course, in the future episodes, I'll be talking about different things connected with James Bond. So I hope you like this. And maybe I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much and see you in the next time.